Well, good morning. It is lovely to see you all here today. Love is spoken here, yes? What an amazing, joyful blessing that this music team is. Thank you so much, Ronnie Beck, for your rhythm and your love. Thank you, Russell Norman, for your melody and your joy. And thank you, Hope Briggs, for blessing us with your love, joy. We are blessed. We are blessed in this very moment. And so I invite you to just take a nice, deep, cleansing breath and feel that blessing. Allow that energy to flow in, through, and as you in this moment. Now, starting on Tuesday, I believe it is, I'm going to be teaching a class called The Keys to the Kingdom. 7 principles, 7 keys of creating and developing your prosperity consciousness. And it's a wonderful class, and last week I spoke a little bit about that. And today I want to share the 6th key with you, and that is the idea of counting your blessings. Are you ready? All right. Now the principle here, the idea here is what Casey was talking about, that third core principle in unity, the law of mind action, that you always attract what you focus upon. And so the daily practice of gratitude focuses our creative energy on the good in our life and thereby multiplying it. And so our third principle is that idea that when we hold that consciousness of gratitude, hold that consciousness of blessing, then we begin to see that outpicture in our lives. We begin to see that expressing and experiencing that in our life. Now, the Buddha once said, he began his teachings with this beautiful statement, "We are what we think. All that arises within our thoughts, all that we are arises within our thoughts. With our thoughts, we make the world. We speak or act with a pure mind, and happiness will follow you, as sure as your shadow will follow you, unshakable." When we speak and focus and act with a pure mind. Now, in unity, we might call that pure mind our Christ self or our higher self or that authentic self. And when we come from that area, that level of goodness within us, then we are creating and manifesting that in our lives. And so today, I'm going to give you 3 steps to step into that flow of that pure heart and allow that energy to flow through you. Now, this last week, we were collecting all of the money and we were counting it, and I noticed on one of the donation envelopes were notes from last week's talks. And you gave it to me, so thank you. It was a wonderful reminder. If you need paper, I suggest you use either the prayer card or the Connect card. I left the backs of those blank, so you can take notes and take them home with you if you'd like. But better yet, bring a journal. Or you can go to the bookstore and buy a journal. So here are the 3 steps to speak and act with a pure heart. Step number 1, name your blessings. Name your blessings. Become conscious of the good in your life. In order for that first principle to really become reality for us, we need to open ourselves up to the truth that it is already there. Now, our human consciousness, by default, is going to focus on all of the lack, all of the suffering, all of the brokenness that we're experiencing in life. Anybody notice that besides me, or is that just me? Me and Colin. Okay, thanks, Colin. I appreciate you. Yeah, the two of us recognize that because our human consciousness is always going, what blessings do I have? Hold on, hang on, hold up a minute. Let's first take a look at everything that's wrong in life. Because that's what it's designed to do, to find out all of the risks in life and figure out how we can fix everything in life. That's what the human consciousness wants to do. So when we take a moment to just breathe and let go of that desire to know, to fix, to do, let go of that for just one moment as we breathe into the present moment and allow that energy of love to flow through you, because love is present here, always, divine love. That divine love that flows in through and as you every moment of the day. But we need to tune into it. And we need to start naming our blessings. So take a moment to think about 3 blessings in your life. And all of those other things may pop up. That's okay. Just bless them and send them on their way. So think about 3 areas in your life where you feel blessed, where you feel that there's a true sense of love and joy and upliftment and something that brings you great happiness. Something that creates this energy in your life. And hold that thought for just a moment. And now ask yourself, in which areas of my life is my good most overlooked? Now, there's probably going to be a correlation between that and the areas that first came up, all of that lack and limitation. Right? Because the human consciousness wants to prove that it's right? All of those false beliefs, all of that BS running through your head, those belief systems, are looking for confirmation that it's right. And so we're always going to be looking for where everything's broken. So notice where in your life you don't see very many blessings. Now, dig deeper and see if you can find and write down 3 more blessings in that area of your life. And what we're doing is we're shifting our consciousness out of the state of lack and limitation and suffering and brokenness and shifting it into a consciousness of openness, of creativity, of joy, of knowing that our good is flowing in some way, shape, or form. If you need one, if you haven't come up with one yet, just notice, put a mirror up to your face and notice you're still breathing. Yeah, no one's passed out yet. Everyone's still breathing. What a blessing to have that breath. What a blessing to notice that breath and allow that breath to flow through you, to breathe you, because Spirit is breathing you. You notice whenever you're focused on the lack, the limitation, and the brokenness, you stop breathing, or you take very shallow breaths because you're constricting yourself. But when you let go, that breath flows gently and easily. And so the first step, name your blessings. Put actual words to it. Make them real for you. Write them down so that they become real for you. Step number 2, celebrate your blessings. Oh my gosh, wouldn't that be a wonderful thing? We had a beautiful blessing by the music group this morning, and we all applauded and we all celebrated that because we felt that move. We felt that energy flow through us. So celebrate those blessings. Amp it up. David Owen Ritz, who created the Keys to the Kingdom, said this: praise is an active appreciation and recognition. When you praise something, you lift it up, shine a light on it, and sing its glory. It's not enough to notice the good things in your life occasionally. You must pray them joyfully with your thoughts, your words, and your actions. So now that we're aware of the blessings in our lives, and every day, I want you to come this week, just try it. Try a practice of every day finding 3 blessings in your life and then celebrating them, being so grateful for them, and see how your energy shifts within you. And feel that energy, that love, that appreciation, that openness just arise in you, and celebrate that. Say, thank you, thank you, thank you. Because what we're doing here, the best way to change a habit, of course, is to do something over and over again, but to celebrate it. Celebrating it creates those neural pathways in your brain. Celebrating it uplifts it within us, and it becomes a part of who we are when we begin to live that celebration in our life. Your praise is the secret to changing your thoughts and beliefs out of lack, suffering, and worthlessness into an awareness of abundance, peace, and worthiness. Unity's core principle, one of our core principles, is around the idea that you are an original blessing. That you are here to bless the world with your gifts, with your love, with your talent. That you're here to express that spirit within you. And so allow that love and that energy to flow by celebrating your blessings. Step number 3, be a blessing. Share your good with others. So what is a blessing? Charles Fillmore, the co-founder of the Unity Movement, wrote about the word blessing in the Revealing Word. He said, blessing imparts the quickening of spiritual power that produces gross growth and increase. A lot of it. Blessing imparts that spiritual energy that we are holding within us to create more of it, to create our life, to create our good. Now, the reality is you're creating your life every moment of the day. Are you creating it from that standpoint of lack and limitation, or are you creating it from that standpoint of love and energy and focus and joy? Are you creating it from, commiserating about all of the things in life, or are you creating it from celebrating all of the good in your life? The choice is yours. And you're always creating. And so when we align those thoughts, those words, and those actions with that one presence and one power, and allow that love to flow through us, allow that to be our lens through which we see the world, we are a blessing. And so we are here to be a blessing to the world and to each other. There's a book called How I Use Truth. It was written by Dr. H. Emily Cady back in 1920s. And she was a big part of the Unity movement. She wrote the book Lessons in Truth, which is one of my favorite books on Unity metaphysics. It really dives into it. And she wrote a bunch of stuff that were originally called miscellaneous writings and later published into a book called How I Use Truth. And, as all publishers do, she sent it to Unity, and I think Lowell Fillmore was the editor at the time. That was the son of Charles and Myrtle. And Lowell wanted to edit it. And Dr. Cady said, metaphysically, of course, in a longer letter. But I want to read some of this to you, because her point was this. This is something that she struggled with and dealt with and practiced for years at a time, just to see how it showed up in her life. And so what she wanted this was her experience of it. She didn't want someone else trying to polish it up and make it pretty. She wrote in her book, almost every one of the simply written articles in How I Use Truth was born out of the travail of my soul after it had been weeks, months, sometimes years, trying affirmations, by claiming the promises of Jesus, and by otherwise faithfully using all of the knowledge of truth that I had then possessed to secure deliverance for myself and others from some distressing bondage, and thus far had defied all human help. So that was beautiful. How many of you have tried for weeks, for months, and for years, praying, waiting for God to do something? Praying, waiting for something out there to do something for you in here. How many of us have set up these goals and said, okay, and sat back and say, okay, here we go. Your turn, God. I'm waiting. We've all had those experiences, I think, because we're putting that energy and that focus out there. And we're looking at it from the standpoint of this God, this being out there that's trying to direct and bless and curse. In Unity, we don't teach that. What we teach is God is everywhere present, in you, in me. That God is in us like the ocean is in the wave. Thank you, Eric Butterworth. And not only that, you are in God like the current is in the ocean. The current is what makes the ocean move. You make the ocean move. You are the hands and the feet of God. She later goes on to say, one day while sitting alone in my room, my hands were busy with other things. My heart cried out, oh God, stretch forth thy hand and deliver. And instantly the answer came, I have no hands but human hands. Your hand is my hand. Stretch it forth spiritually and give whatsoever you will to whomsoever you will, and it will be established. You are the hands in the expression of this creative energy. That energy that moves in through and as you, you are here to bring it. I like that. You're just here to bring it. You're here to use your spiritual power by focusing on your blessings, by tuning into the good in your life and allowing that good to flow. You're here to use your energy of love to give that energy out into the world freely because it's unlimited within you. There's no limit to this. This unconditional love that flows in through and as you is always there present within you. All we need to do is allow it to flow. And you're here to use your unique talents in the world, to let your talent sing. Now, Hope was a beautiful, beautiful expression of that this morning, just letting her talent sing so that we can be uplifted. We were blessed by her. You are the blessing in the world. And you bless the world when you come from that pure heart, from that higher consciousness. You bless the world when you step back from your anger and your frustrations. You take a breath and you come back with the best that you can be. You are a blessing to the world when you hold that energy for the world, when you send that love out into the world, when you hold the consciousness of peace in the world that the world so desperately needs. You are the expression of that peace. And so this third step is to actually be the blessing. And the reality is, the advanced version of this practice is reversed. Start by being the blessing. Start by sharing your good, sharing your talent, sharing your love, opening your heart, being a peaceful presence in the world. You don't have to fix people. You just need to listen. So be that blessing out into the world. Share your energy with the world. Share your unique talents with the world. And as you do, celebrate those blessings that you are giving to the world. And then acknowledge them, name them. I am a blessing to the world. And it's not out of ego that we name them. It's because of ego that we name them. Because we have to teach ego that it is here to serve. That human consciousness needs to understand that I'm in service to this one presence and one power that is everywhere present, that I live and move and have my being in. And I'm here to express that love joyfully, gleefully. And as I begin to follow these steps, that becomes my habit. That becomes who I'm here, who I've come here to be. And that expression just flows through me with ease and grace. Now, in Unity, I love this idea that this spiritual community, this spiritual center, is a proving ground for these ideas. It's a safe space for you to come and test them out. How would being a loving presence to giving my gifts to this spiritual community look like? I was going to have a sign-up sheet or 2 sheets outside, but I got busy. So someone grab a piece of paper and put them out by the hospitality. Would you be willing to do that? Someone? Anyone? Bueller? Thank you, Christine. So on one piece of paper, there's an opportunity for us to put this into action. As I talked about a few weeks ago, one of our visions is to get back into the energy of families. So it's to have a youth program here at Unity Palo Alto. I don't know how we're going to do it. It's not my business how we're going to do it. That's God's business. My business is to move the energy around. And so I offered, we're going to clean up the 2 youth rooms and the youth office to create the space. It's the cleansing law of prosperity. The universe can't give you anything if there's nowhere to give it. You have to make space in your mind. You have to make space in the arena in which you're going to be living in so that the universe can flow into it. And so we're going to clean those rooms up. We're going to get them ready for the next expression of our youth and family program. Yes? So on Saturday, May 4th, you're welcome to join me on this journey of cleansing that room. That will be the first sign-up sheet that's out there. Use your power of imagination. The second opportunity there are other ways in which you can serve our community, to be of service to each other. And to be of service, from the heart. There's a term called seva in Sanskrit. It's a Sanskrit word that means the act of compassion and care for others above oneself. It's selfless service. And the sacred Hindu text, the Bhagavad Gita, thank you. My brain is switched off for a moment there. The sacred Hindu text, can't say it, Bhagavad Gita, encourages selfless service in a way to develop spirituality. Selfless service, and the way we call it here at Unity, is sacred service, because we are serving one another. We're serving each other. That's really one of the big points of spiritual community, is to serve one another. The second sheet that's out there are for ideas in which you want to serve our spiritual community. Just throw down any idea. Now, I want to tell you, so many people say, John, what you should do, what Unity Palo Alto should do. I am not the spiritual center. I am not the church. I am not the building. Who are the spiritual community? Who is the spiritual center? Who is the church? And in your heart is where your spiritual center lives. So sacred service is all about giving from that love in our heart without an expectation of something in return. Sacred service is that third aspect of being the blessing in the world, allowing that energy to flow with ease and grace, and just being open to it when you're called to do it. And so there are other opportunities here. You could be a part of our hospitality team. We have a fabulous hospitality team, yes? And did you know that you can bring dishes and they will set it up for us? Did you know that? Oh, now the rest of you do. If you want something, you can bring it and share it with our community. We have a wonderful greeting team, yes? A beautiful group of people who greet you and say hello to you and give you hugs out in the front of the sanctuary when you come in. You can be a part of that greeting team. Did you know we have a bookstore? They have journals in there, by the way. We have a fabulous bookstore team. And if that's a calling for you, then be willing to serve selflessly. There's so many ways in which we can come together as a spiritual community, because that's really what we are here for, is to practice in a loving, safe space to be that love in the world. Because it's not always easy to do it, if you're working at a high-tech company. Anybody like to be that loving presence in a high-tech company? I used to work in high-tech, so I know what it's like sometimes when you're working 100 hours over a weekend. I know what it's like, and it's often hard to be that loving presence, but that's what we're called to do. And this is a safe space to practice it so we can learn how to connect with one another, so we can develop that spiritual energy so that we can be a sacred service to the world. We can be a blessing to the world. And that is the good news that the master teacher Jesus talked about. Us stepping into that role of living from that pure heart, of living from that divine consciousness, and being that in the world with each other. Let's move to our affirmation, Felix. I'm going to read this and then invite you to affirm it with me. My heart is overflowing with the song of divine love, and I sing it to the world. Together, my heart is overflowing with the song of divine love, and I sing it to the world. And so it is. You are the beautiful voice of Spirit. You are here to lift each other up, to be that love, to be that service, to be that compassion, to support one another, to be that peaceful presence. And so in this moment, let us take that energy, that blessing, bring to mind again that within your life that is a deep blessing for you. Bring it to mind and allow that energy of love to flow up in you. Breathe into that present moment as we move into our time of meditation and affirmative prayer. I breathe into this moment and release and let go of any thoughts that are concerning. Just allowing my mind to rest with ease and grace. I breathe into this moment and my emotions begin to settle. Each breath creating peace within. I breathe into this moment and my body is relaxed. I feel the energy of the earth beneath me, grounding me in this present moment. With each breath, I sink deeper into the experience of God. With each breath, my heart is overflowing with love. And I allow that love to carry me deeper in, experiencing my oneness with the divine. Each breath, my heart sings with divine love. For I am one with the allness of life, love, and wisdom. And with each breath, I sink into the stillness of the silence. I am one with the infinite flow of life, love, and wisdom. My heart is overflowing with love, the harmonizing, healing, prospering energy of spirit flows from the center of my being through every cell in my body, and I am healthy and whole. Divine love, the healing, harmonizing energy of spirit flows outward, blessing each other. I feel the energy flowing from you, and I send the energy to you, for there is no lack, no limitation of God's healing, harmonizing, prospering energy. Divine love fills this room as we sing this song of blessings. We send this energy out into the world. We surround our prayer chest and all of the affirmative prayers that have come in online or in person, and we hold them with love, knowing that divine love is doing its perfect work in this very moment. If there's somebody who you are holding in prayer, I invite you to say their name out loud now or bring their name to mind. Divine intelligence, infinite wisdom, and divine love flow through every situation, bringing health, harmony, and abundance. We send this energy out into the world, blessing all of humanity. And with this love in our hearts, we raise the consciousness of humanity through the power, through the energy of spirit, divine love. And as we allow that energy to return to us, we allow that song within us to begin to rise, the song of praise, as we celebrate by singing the Alleluia.